Greetings and welcome back to the main studio here at the North American Hub. Our coverage presented by Monster Energy. We're all set for the grand finals of the Chinese qualifier. Going to be CIS, the Cinderella story, taking on the heavy odds-on favorites in LGD. The casters for the evening, Merlini and LD.
You can't do that. You can't greetings and not salutations.
What the hell is value betting is live? I don't know what that means.
Right, Dota2 Lounge. What's that?
I had to check the odds.
It's fine. I'll make sure I get it back next time. Okay. But guys, coming in, you got a good look at CIS. Fear and I obviously got a good look. I have my opinions. I shared them before. I want to hear yours moving into this game.
I was honestly...
How did they get here?
How did DT not get here to me is the bigger question. The DT that played the playoffs of this tournament is not the same DT that beat LGD 2-0 in WPC to knock LGD out of playoff contention and to secure their own slot. I think DT just... Maybe they got figured out. They did tend to draft a similar style game to game, and CIS out-late game them. But honestly, I just think they underperformed, and hey, CIS was there to seize an opportunity.
It was strange. This whole qualifier was pretty strange.
Air didn't have the best performance game one on his signature, and from there just didn't seem confident for the rest of the series, and that was pretty much that. I mean, so much of DT's playstyle is revolved around Air doing well, Air setting the tempo, Air forcing out the game in 35 minutes, but didn't happen in that series at all. So
yeah,
they're gone.
I was just going to say, the draft's underway, so you guys can talk about it as we move in. Once again, this is going to be game one of the best-of-5 grand finals here at the Chinese qualifier. Winner goes directly into the International 4 bracket. The others go into Seattle for sure, but CIS, they got to feel like they're playing on house money. Merlini, LD, take it away, gentlemen.
Well, Ben, the draft is underway, and we begin with a first overall pick, Invoker from LGD. In terms of the bans, they look very, very standard for Chinese Dota. Naga, not a super high priority ban right now for some teams, but against CIS, that's mainly how CIS wins, is they just out-late game you, and it looks like LGD do not want to get out-late gamed here. They'll ban it in the first phase. They'll go for probably the Yao Voker, and they secure the tree quite early on.
Pretty good draft from LGD. I like it a little bit more than CIS's. Lifestealer's fallen out of favor as primary carry because he just gets kited super easily, even by a hero like Tram Protector. Living armor on the open wound target, can't lifesteal anything. You have overgrowth for rage, so little surprised CIS picked it up this early. It can be countered very, very easily, not to mention Bane and all these other things. Morphling's pretty good versus them.
Yeah, there's still a lot of pretty good carries to deal with Lifestealer in the pool, and we'll see what CIS look to combo with it. So, Sand King's a decent infest target vehicle, but with the caveat that if he jumps in just to initiate and you don't drop an Epicenter, then you're probably not getting it off in the team fight. So, normally we'll see teams get Sand King and a +1 to go along with him. With that being said, in terms of the bans right now, we see a Mirana get banned out by LGD, something CIS have run. Generally want to say we've seen Black playing it as kind of the one position here. We have seen the, well, actually we've seen the IO support Mirana as well, but support Mirana seems very underwhelming in this qualifier in general, and they'll ban the Morphling now too.
Well, I thought they might take it up for themselves. So
who is they actually CIS do have the first pick coming into the next stage, so in theory they could get their hands on it first.
I don't think CIS would go for both of those. That's just like super, super greedy. But Sand King Lifestealer, unusual. What do you think about Lifestealer? I think that's the one that's most like interesting of this draft. Sand King, Invoker, and Treant all being picked a lot.
Situational, very strong in certain 1v1 matchups. Very strong against team fights or lineups that don't have lockdown that goes through magic immunity, but there's a lot of carries that kite him. You mentioned the Morphling. Mirana's another choice. Two of those are banned out. There's still heroes like Weaver. And picking them this early means there's just so many heroes to worry about. They'll ban out the Lich. They'll ban out the Enchantress here. So
they could throw us a curveball and do like the solo off-lane Lifestealer.
Yeah. They could. Who would he lane against is the question. Tree, he can be annoying with the right clicks, but he's not really going to win a trade war on his own. It's where you'd look to see another support there to really zone out Lifestealer effectively.
We may see the comeback of Razor and Viper. Fear hates both of those.
No, I hope they're picked just so we can hear him screaming from the living room for the
Razor's good. Viper is a little above average. I won't say he's good. He's annoying.
They're both very situational picks.
Yeah, I would say so.
Some games they're total garbage. Some games they can be very, very strong. But there's just other picks that are almost always good. Like Invoker's rarely a bad pick. Even if they pick something to deal with him, it's a lot more difficult to punish the Invoker in general. We'll see a Nature's Prophet now for CIS, so It looks to be a black lifestealer, most likely, although I think they have run a one-position Prophet once in a while, but it's pretty risky to run that, to be honest.
Mid
K-pop is saying they do run it mid as well.
This is interesting. I'm still trying to figure out what approach CIS is going for right now. They have like a little bit of gank, a little bit of late game, and fight with Lifestealer, a little bit of split push and ganking from Nature's Prophet too. So it might be like a pretty aggressive lineup, but it's pretty difficult to play aggressively against a Treant Protector in any of your 3 lanes, especially when you don't have like a Darkseer or something nice to really deal with that Treant Protector armor.
Well, LGD will go for Rubik. Truth be told, not a very good hero against Lifestealer, especially not in the laning stage if you're trying to zone him out, but we'll see if CIS even think about aggression. They go back for a Windranger pick. Windranger, a hero that's not been seen that often, and when she has, generally has been unsuccessful. I think that was Mott just celebrating, so he says June is legit on the Windranger.
Dude, every game I see CIS and Mott's watching, he's always like, please pick Windranger, please pick Windranger. I haven't seen it, so
he hit nice shackles in the one game that I remember seeing, but like they were useless shackles. There was no follow-up for them. The one issue I have with Windranger is just her damage output in fights is very low compared to other heroes that often are played as cores. So you go into the mid game, the late game, yeah, she offers good lockdown if you can hit it, but a lot of other heroes do too, and they offer more damage than she does.
I think this is a pretty good game for Windranger. They have Nature's Prophet set up easy sprouts and Sand King too, double impale into double shackle. It's better than most games you'll see. For
Looks like it could even be a support Windranger as well.
Yeah. I'm not the hugest fan of support Windranger because that hero needs levels. Like level 1 shackle, even if you connect with 2 heroes, is really terrible.
And she's just a good carrier for a lot of core items. Force Staff, Mech, a natural hero to pick them up. So Doom's the choice now for LGD, and great hero against Lifestealer. Now they have Overgrowth, they have Doom to deal with him, so matching up pretty well thus far. I'd say he's the main Doom target. Sand King's generally not going to be easy to lock down in fights because he's not visible, and these other heroes are fairly elusive as well. So let's see what CIS do. I would like to see them either run the Prophet as more of a true farming carry or pick up something else to do that, but we'll see what they do with this last pick. Invoker mid. If you want to just beat the Invoker, there's options like OD. We don't really see that from CIS too often. I mean, Theory, you mentioned Razor, Viper, though I don't expect that from CIS either. There's also your safe picks like Dragon Knight. Lose the lane, but still just crush the mid game anyway.
So it looks like CIS expects another safe lane farmer, so that means they expect a Doom in the off lane. I don't think Doom can stand up versus Lifestealer Sand King +1 though. So
it does have living armor, and it is Radiant off lane.
That's true.
But that being said, it's a tough. He's got 0 base armor against Lifestealer, so
yeah, it's really easy. I think even a tower dive, and they have a Nature's Prophet too, so that's even more possible aggression coming out from CIS in that lane. I would expect them more to do like Doom in the safe lane.
Yeah, they could also run Doom mid and Invoker safe lane, but it kind of depends on this last pick from CIS as well. If we see like an OD mid, maybe they switch up the lanes a bit and don't put Invoker there. If they pick something weaker from mid like Dragon Knight, they'll probably run the Doom safe lane you mentioned.
I think it's going to be... Is it going to be Windranger safe lane?
OD. All right, CIS
exactly
will go for it.
Said.
So LGD, I think at this point, you even consider running Doom mid or put Invoker safe lane, because Invoker will not have a fun time against OD.
I think they might be able to aggro try. I don't think Lifestealer Sand King Windranger is even that strong. And they can just put Invoker bottom and do something decently mid versus OD.
They don't have the best dual lanes either, is the issue. Like, what are you going to run? Prophet, Sand King, Lifestealer, Windranger?
Razor! Come on, LGD! Razor's great versus OD, great versus Lifestealer, and that's about it.
Yeah, and you have living armor to help keep him alive. Razor's strongest when you have supports that have lockdown and can keep him alive. So I would say they have a decent amount of both. Let's see what they do. This is going to be game 1 of a best of 5, guys. If you're just joining us, then you're in for the long haul, potentially, here. LGD walk in as favorites, but CIS looked revitalized in their victory over DT, and so far, it's a bit of a greedy draft, to be totally honest. It's a 4-position Windranger, a 5-position Sand King, or vice versa. Your offlane's a Prophet, your solo hit's an OD. It's basically as greedy as you can get. And
that's how CIS wins a lot of their games, though.
And that's how you see the carry is breaking through the barrier of the hexagon. It's poking out into the word carry.
It's too high. It's too much.
I like this Weaver pick, and I think we will see some aggression from them. Maybe they run just an straight-on aggressive tri-lane. OD or Doom versus Prophet safe lane is pretty good. They could also run the Invoker versus Prophet and Doom go mid if you want to sack the Doom. But we'll see what they do.
I don't think it's that bad for the Doom. He has such high base damage. If he gets like a Quelling Blade, I think he can.
It's a lot better than putting Invoker mid.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And Doom's a better catch-up hero too.
I've seen Invokers in safe lanes kill Nature's Prophet too. So I think that's a pretty good matchup for an Invoker.
Yeah, especially once you start getting Forged Spirits. He's got plenty of ways to cancel TPs, so Prophet can't just rely on that teleport out necessarily, and if you Sprout, you can just get Sunstriked within it. So we'll see how the lanes develop here, but CIS, well, they've gone for classic CIS Dota at this point, which is not the aggression of old when we saw that Sniper Wraith King strat, but since that in black, it's been a very heavy tilt towards ultra late game.
They do a pretty good job of stalling off until then. So, see how this game goes.
Yeah, we'll introduce the teams momentarily as soon as the draft ends. I think we're trapped in the draft. Yeah, we'll get K-pop on that one.
Help.
Help, please. The draft, this is the draft that never ends. All right. Here we go, guys. Welcome in. It's game 1 of a best-of-5. CIS versus LGD. The International 4 China Qualifiers presented by Monster Energy. Here we go. CIS on the Dire side. LGD on the Radiant. There is no winner's bracket advantage. The advantage is you get to relax, while CIS has to grind through a best-of-3 immediately before this series. So, with that being said, we'll introduce the teams. And Yao playing that solo mid Invoker. Heading towards the offlane is going to be Lin on the Weaver. Looks like they will be going aggressive trialing. DDC handling the Rubik. Smoke dropped on the ground for now. DD playing that Treant Protector. And that does put in the safe lane Xiao Tuji. He's been pulled a Sentry, an Observer, as well as a Tango. And he will be looking for that 1v1 matchup, I suppose. But with that being said, on the Dire side, the underdogs for most. It's CIS. You've got June on the Lifestealer. That puts Io onto the support Wind Ranger, so not a June Wind Ranger this time around. Demons playing that support Sand King. Should CIS lose this match, someone tweeted at me that we would see a real demon test. Who's the real demon? Demon or demons? We'll find out at TI4 potentially. You've got Black as your solo mid OD, and that does put into the offlane Inflame on the Nature's Prophet.
I think that it's a good decision for LGD to aggro try here. They need to put pressure on CIS. The only problem is if they don't actually get any kills or keep them down like 5 or 6 minutes in, the Nature's Prophet is going to crush them once he gets his Wrath of Nature. So LGD, they feel pressured a little bit in the early game, and looks like they're already off.
Nice block from the Invoker as well. Now the OD's way down in the river. This could be a very easy kill. He's taking Astral level 1, and he uses it offensively. Now he's going to run up the ramp. He gets lifted. He gets tossed straight back down. Now the Leech Seed will hit him. And Black, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, will go down. A lot of that goes back to the really good creep block from Yao, as well as Black just using Astral offensively. But a great execution there by LGD. And, well, CIS, already the greed's been punished, and the laning stage has hardly begun.
Yeah, and no support spot him with TP Scroll. I think he could have sold his Tangos and gotten back to the lane. He's going to miss out on a lot of precious experience. Yao's going to be like level 2.5 by the time Black gets in the lane. They already have a Sentry Ward up top, but I don't really think they can put out that much pressure. There is some creep pulling going on. Inflame busts out the double equal sign.
Yeah.
Have you seen the equals face? It's the kitty face.
That's the kitty face?
Yeah.
It's the like whiskers?
It's the whiskers, yeah.
Okay.
It's cute.
But they have no eyes then. They just have a dot. They just have a nose and whiskers.
It's like an Asian kitty. They're squinty eyes.
Okay.
I can say that.
That doesn't mean it's not racist.
I never said it
just means
wasn't.
you're being racist against your own kind. Okay, I guess. If you want to throw Asians under the bus, Ben, it's far be it for me to stop it.
So Demons has Boots first, but I don't know if Boots first is the right build for him, because what is he gonna do? Like go on a Weaver? No. Go on a Treant Protector? No. Maybe go on the Rubik, but Rubik's gonna be in pretty good position, and you're not gonna be able to walk up to him with or without Boots.
The bigger issue is also that Wind Ranger just doesn't roam well with Sand King. She needs level, she has very little damage, so Sand King goes mid, he tries to gank Invoker, and OD Sand King is not killing Invoker, so they just don't have a good support duo to use those boots early on.
I think he just... Oh, June gets initiated on.
He does get lifted up, tossed back into the big clubs of DD. The chase is on now. Lin gonna dive the tower. The salve's actually been cancelled here, but Lin taking some tower shots. The creeps will mostly buffer him from a further onslaught of damage. The Prophet teleport, thought about it, is gonna cancel it. Now Demons dropping low. Is there another zap from DDC? Bit low on mana, can't get it off, and Well, they canceled the June salve, they dove the tower, and CIS have to be quite low on regen now. 1 tango on the Wind Ranger. In terms of June, he already used the salve. Demon's down to 2 tangos, and June, 1 as well. So they've got 4 tangos between 3 heroes, most of them at half HP. And LGD have living armor, so tri-lane's getting hard.
I think they should just kind of like bait out the Wind Ranger. Like she has level 2, she should just pick up Wind Run and just constantly play super aggressively. So that takes off a lot of the pressure from June and forces them to go on AO. And then Demon should just go and stack. The way this tri-lane is going, they're not really getting too much out of it. And June almost died there. If Weaver wasn't attacking him, didn't tank like 5 tower hits, I think he would have died.
Rabbit getting aggressive in the bottom lane. Will just poke it in flame, but no commitment yet. So in terms of our other 2 lanes, haven't looked at them much, but already Xiaotuji off to a nice start, sitting at 12-2 against the off-lane Prophet. And with that slight amount of pulled regen, as well as the early observer, he feels very confident, knowing CIS are defensive, trying to post up in the lane, and well, he's winning the farm war here. That's where you run off-lane Prophet. He needs to be making an impact elsewhere in the map, and so far just hasn't had any openings to do it.
Yeah, his CS is not terribly great. I think he may have expected a safe lane try going for the boots first. I don't really think you need boots first in the Doom on Nature's Prophet matchup, but in safe lane, like June, look at his positioning. It's so far back. He can't really come up close to creeps at all. Forced to go with Magic Stick first instead of a rather greedy build. And in the mid lane, this is where CIS is doing decently, even though they've given up first blood. Invoker's been pretty hindered in terms of his CS, but he does already have phase boots up. A little bit unusual for Caustic Sword Invoker, I'd say.
I think in this matchup it's a good choice though, because you want the damage. Like, you're already going to be struggling as he astrals you. And the other thing is he's already got his Forge Spirits online. So honestly, like, this is about as good as it's going to get for any Invoker and Invoker versus OD matchup, I feel. Without multiple ganks. And yeah, he got the one, but since then he's been on his own. So the other thing LGD have to look forward to is those Sunstrikes, but we haven't seen any just yet.
So it looks like Doom, he first ate a Wild King creep, now he has an Ice Armor creep. Not really sure why he changed, gives Nature's Prophet a little bit of the edge in the lane, and Nature's Prophet is actually #1 CS leader since Rabbit has spent so much time off of the lane.
Yeah, he caught up nicely. Top lane, the swarms come out in June, being dove under the tower, will be brought low. Won't be killed off as there's Sunstrike available. Not seeing anything just yet, I guess. Surprised he didn't make a go for that.
Yeah, he doesn't have an Invoked. He doesn't have enough mana, actually.
Okay, he's too low in mana then. Well, they'll dive the tower now with the double damage turn on DDC, but Demons just pops Sandstorm and will retreat out. Yeah, that's the thing, I guess. You're laning against OD. Mana is a persistent issue, so with Sunstrike there, this tri-lane could have been completely falling apart. Still, it's not going well, as we see Xiaotuji driven off the lane quite a bit by Inflame. Now props the ultimate. Is he going to find the vision for this one? It bounces through to Xiaotuji. Not enough to get the kill, and well, that means these heroes on top lane, normally you've got to be very scared aggressive tri-lane against Prophet once he hits level 6, but with the ult down and everyone at full HP, they'll be very safe.
Inflame Steeping Hubbone. Usually Doom should hit level 6 before Nature's Prophet, and I think he should actually be able to kill him once he gets level 6, but Inflame with the early phase boost and level 6 earlier, just able to put so much aggression out on the Doom that he's actually not able to do anything. I'm not really sure where the Living Armor is going either. I don't think Doom should be in that defensive a position. The Nature's Prophet should always feel threatened.
Oh, there's a smoke gank on mid. They've isolated Black here. They'll start with the Leech Seed, following up with the Cold Snap, and DDC secures the kill. Black now been punished twice, and CIS unable to assist really. They don't have any vision aside from this one observer ward at the top side of the lane, but with smoke there, that doesn't help you, and they don't see when LGD are not in the lane because they don't have any jungle wards up, so nice rotations and 2 deaths for OD, barely ahead of Invoker and CS. That is not what you expect when you run the OD versus Invoker matchup.
And not at all, just very good rotation from the 2 LGD supports, 2 smokes, 2 kills.
And how are we doing in terms of jungle stacking for CIS? Want to take a quick look at that for the Sand King, although we might have some action mid. Just a single double stack at the big camp. That is, for 6.5 minutes in, very underwhelming. As they go in again on Black, the Cold Snaps here. The follow-up comes, he will self-astral. Pretty nicely timed, patient there on the delivery, but still might go down. No, it looks like it'll be saved by some backup. Reinforcements have arrived. They've gotten 1. They're looking for more, and yeah, the ODO gets dropped. It hardly tickles him, but they've gotten the 2-for-0 trade. Great rotations, and LGD, well, they kept on touching the flames, and eventually they got burnt. great turnaround.
Nice shackle from Wind Ranger, nice defensive Astro coming out from Black, and that should put him pretty safe until he gets his Midas. He's still relatively far though, 700 gold on him. Let's check what build Xiaotuji's going for, just phase boost, not sure if he's going to go for a Midas. Not sure if they go for Midases this game.
Maybe like one Midas on, say, your OD, but you are running such greedy supports. If you start picking up 3-4 Midases, or even 2 might be one too many. I don't know, we'll see.
I think it's okay. I mean, they could go 3 if they wanted to, because OD can just be taken out by Doom, and then Lifestealer,
Oh, you're talking about LGD. I thought you were talking about CIS.
Oh, yes. CIS, no.
Oh, they're already running 5 cores in some sense. We'll see the dive on June top lane. He does stick up, but the chase continues, and Lin, one more auto attack. Is it going to be enough? The Sunstrike comes through! Doesn't need it.
He's so cool walking away like that. I got this, guys. I got this.
Yeah. that was pretty badass. Badasses never look back at explosions. Ben, didn't you learn anything in school?
In movies, come on. They do that in movies too. Yeah. So it looks like Sand King's leeching some experience, and Inflame has gone to the jungle. This is, it's all right from them. Inflame had actually missed the large stack to try to stack that a 3rd time. If he can actually get that, then they're looking really good on bottom lane.
There's a Burrow Strike to initiate. Xiaotuji now in a bit of a pickle. Living Armor comes through. Doesn't have a way out of the Sprout, and now tanks a Shackle to the face. The power shot pierces his cold heart, and down he goes.
Get a Quelling Blade, man.
Or carry a Tango, but I guess he used all 5 of them up earlier. So we'll see if he gets anything. But for now, CIS fighting their footing here in the mid game, and it's mostly just been on the back of some good rotations. LGD had the 2 early nice smoke ganks, and then they went for the 3rd one. Prophet TP'd into Punisher, and since then, it's been the Wind Ranger moving around who's actually made the biggest impact. Surprisingly enough, Wind Ranger not normally a great roaming support, but she's just been that needed +1 and been enough for the
She's
kills.
just following up on all the stuff that CIS is setting up though. Easy Sprout in a Shackle, easy Impale in a Shackle in mid lane, and that makes her life much easier. She doesn't actually have max Shackle. Sometimes you'll see people max that over Power Shot, but Power Shot does too good damage to ignore most of the time.
Well, for now, June playing this one safe. Lin is pressuring the tower, and that is a bit of a concern for CIS here. Sure, they've got a lot of heroes that can scale well with farm, but this Lifestealer, he's not really being allowed into the lane right now as Lin continues to pressure. CS is actually quite good, considering the matchup, but for the time being, he's been thoroughly zoned out. There's a Radiant Ward spotting this rotation as Sand King muscles up. I don't see CIS defending this tower at all.
Rabbit keeps changing his creep. This is 3rd time he's changed his creep. First one was the Wildkin, 2nd one was the Frost Ogre. Now it's the Frost Attack.
That is a very crappy creep.
It is. It's crummy. It's very crummy.
I'm okay with the Frost Armor against Prophet. It helps you a lot with the harassment. I think Wildkin's pretty good there as well. But, well, with that being said, Power Shot will come through once again, and LGD will be rotating again through the jungle. OD Midas comes online. I believe Prophet's going for one as well as we hit the 10-minute mark. And if LGD don't keep the pressure up, then you got to be happy if you're CIS. You get a Bleak Dagger on Sand King, you get your double Midas, and farm towards things like Mech, Force Staff, just some casual bracers and HP items, and they'll be in fantastic shape in the mid game here. So I wouldn't say pressure's on LGD, but this next 10 minutes is very important for them to keep the pressure up.
I think they already underperformed in the laning stage. Top lane went well, mid lane went well as expected, but the bottom lane I think was where things have really not gone well for LGD. The Doom's also going for a really late Midas, but he's died once, and Nature's Prophet has gotten away with a little bit too much 1-0 and 2 on him. Demons is infested up,
and they have their Midas now on the Prophet, so he can rotate in for this top gank. They'll look to initiate momentarily as DDC waits around the tree line. He's actually spotted them with that ward, but can he stay away? The Shackle's going to fly. That's going to set up the Demon's Burrow Strike. Prophet probably coming through right now. Oh, actually doesn't have the mana for it, it looks like, but not needed. They get the kill. They blow a dust just to make sure Weaver's not still here, and they'll make their way out. But again, LGD not finding pickoffs. It's all been CIS. CIS, I think 4 in a row. As Invoker, well, there you go. I think he Sunstriked the Wind Ranger on the retreat out, I believe was what happened there. So, gets the kill.
I think this is good for CIS. They have a far greedier lineup. They're even on kills. They're slightly behind in gold, but they do have 2 Midases to LGD's 2, but they have slightly better late game. A lot of it does come down to execution, though. Is Sand King going to be able to hit some huge eppies and blink stuns?
Does Doom just find him and the fight's over? Like, if their Sand King dies, CIS cannot take a fight. No way.
Or
Not without huge farm.
Or
on
if OD gets doomed up really early. Either of those two are really integral to the fights, but Wind Ranger can always counter-initiate with the Shackle too. I'm not sure what she's saving up for. She has 1,000 gold, maybe just Arcanes.
The supports are going to be pretty starved on CIS, I feel. Sand King only at 2,200 net worth, Wind Ranger at 1,600, and you might be saying, well, LGD supports are going to be poor too, and that's true. Difference is they don't really need the farm as much. Tree doesn't particularly need it. Rubik doesn't hugely need it. And, well, we'll see continued pressure. This Weaver has not been pulled out of the top lane once, and I guess that's the biggest issue for CIS, is they really cannot gank a Weaver, and as a result, he'll stay top while 3 heroes smoke up, head towards mid. CIS perhaps not ready for this. They'll worm their way through the tier 1 mid, and they'll look for a Doom initiation. He's got an Invisor, and this is going to be an easy kill on Black if he approaches that tier 1 tower. Will he fall prey to it? No, good positioning for Black, and they sense something's up. They see this Invoker posted up mid, and they're just going to back off. But LGD's vision has been spectacular. This one Observer Ward in the Dire Jungle has done so much work for them. Almost kept the Rubik alive earlier. It seemed like 2-3 heroes almost constantly in this game, and now they'll actually get aggressive. They'll head into the jungle. Rabbit's still invis. The tree, no points in nature's guys. Yes, hiding behind the trees, and Inflame will be caught. He gets doomed. The Leech Seed's going to follow this one up. They'll just lose their profit here. Overgrowth patiently waited out as June will go for the deny, it looks like, and didn't get it, but nonetheless, good move by him and tempting to do so. And yeah, save the rage for after the Overgrowth, so nice play by Life.
I don't actually think he timed it. He just like used it so he didn't get, I don't know, didn't get stunned. I think he used it like right as he, as soon as he Overgrowth. I think if he just waited a little bit on the side of LGD, like lead off with a Cold Snap, and then he's forced to rage out of that, and then Overgrowth, they get another kill because he won't have any infest targets either.
Invoker arrived a bit later to the fight, I believe. At least I didn't see him there when the fight started.
They were relatively close. They should have been able to, I think, get a little bit more. But LGD, they need to get more out of the early mid game though. That's 1 kill lead, slight gold advantage is.
I think the main thing they have is these towers down. They're up by 7,500 gold, and if they just keep these aggressive observers out, it's very hard for CIS to make. They can't gank Weaver very easily, and well, maybe with the Blink Dagger and Sand King that will change, but how close is Weaver to Lincoln Sphere, actually? Up to only at 5,900 gold, but he's got the Ultimate Orb, and once he gets that, it's going to be very difficult for CIS to get that kill.
I think even once he gets it, I mean, they have, what, Blink Stun, they have a Force Staff from OD, they have Astral from OD, they have Shackle, and they have Open Wounds. They have, and Wrath of Nature. It's a lot of stuff to take it down, so I don't think he can even feel that safe with it. And he won't do that much damage, because remember, he's their main source of physical damage. I guess you can count on Invoker for a little bit.
Doom's got the Alpha Wolf, man. He's finally gotten a good creep as well. That's quite important for LGD.
Please don't stick with the ice creep.
Yeah, once you finally get an Alpha Wolf, you should never replace it. Because that thing is like, it's just Murphy's Law. Whenever you need one, you can't find one. So, CIS will now smoke up. They'll head towards the top side of the map, looking for the Weaver. And Blink Dagger is online. They also have Dust here, but Lin is fairly tanky, especially if he's in Strength Treads. Let's see if they can get this kill. They'll have to execute this one perfectly. June.
Or look out for a really fast tree armor from...
Oh, they will find the epicenter. Lin's going to walk into it. Then he gets dusted. He walks back into the combo. The Shackle's there, but he just time-lapses out. Just not enough burst. Meanwhile, mid lane, is there an engagement there? No, just a push.
It was a nice try from them, but DD was really good with that living armor there, saving him.
That was like their full combo too. They just need more. They need the OD to get a bit more farm, Prophet ult.
Or a Shackle to retreat.
Yeah, what level is that Shackle shot anyway? This Wind Ranger is level 8. Okay, level 3 Shackle. That's not bad. And Lin, again, just calmly juking these ganks while the pressure mounts mid. They're going to forfeit a tier 2, and they fail on the Weaver gang. And Sanity's Eclipse has been stolen. That does work off of Rubik's int, correct?
Yeah.
So it's pretty underwhelming.
41 int! 41! 2 more than Lifestealer.
Pretty bad.
He can drain all that mana, though.
That's true, I guess. There's better spells here. Shackle Shot, Burrow Strike.
Infest. Infest is cool.
I do like your jovial attitude, though, Ben. That's good.
You gotta look at it at the bright side. I bet he's like gonna just juggle his branches around and be like, what can I do here?
Well, 16 and a half minutes in, CIS definitely trailing by a substantial margin, but considering how greedy the draft was and how they only had one halfway decent lane, which got ganked and gave up 2 kills in the OD versus Invoker mid, I think this is okay for them. It's still LGD in control, but CIS, I don't think they could have expected better.
The big problem versus Tree is sometimes you end the game without without any of their T1 towers down. So CIS needs to break that at some point or another, or else they're just going to be in this huge gold deficit from their 6 outer towers down.
They're so bad at pushing towers. The only Prophet who's even decent, Wind Ranger, is a support, Focus Fire will be irrelevant, and they aren't good at breaking towers.
No. Well, once Nature's Prophet gets his Necro 3, but that's some time to come.
And even then, it's you just send one hero back, generally enough to deal with it. Demon's is waiting in the trees. He's got his Blink Dagger ready. Epicenter cooling down soon. LGD could be caught out here. Don't have any vision of him just yet, though they do have an Observer Ward right outside the tree line. And if he's not careful, he might poke his head out. Prophet TP's in from behind. The ult's going to be deployed, and get ready for the Epicenter. It's about time to rumble. Inflame jumps in, immediately feeds. That'll cost him his life. Now the Lifestealer goes in, but he'll be Overgrowth, then doomed, and he'll be dead as well. Sand King didn't see what happened there, but didn't do enough damage apparently. If he even got the combo off.
Rabbit just BKB'd. He has 1440 HP. He got the full Epicenter to the full stun off, but I mean, Doom's just too tanky. They don't have that much burst unless OD is there at the start of the fight to kill someone with Sandy's Eclipse.
And that was
CGD. He gets Astraled. He's right next to the tree line. He's going to die here.
Gets caught out and will be Burrow Strike. That support tree goes down, so a nice retaliatory kill, but still clear advantage to LGD. They were fighting that 4v5. They had Weaver, split pushing top, and they get 2 cores in exchange for support. Unnecessary casualty, but still hardly a backbreaker for LGD.
I think Link could have gotten away with a Midas here. I think it would have been like pretty close, like within 2 or 3 minutes. Midas Link as opposed to just Lincolns, and the way that CIS's lineup is gonna go, like you want some sort of insurance in case it goes late and you fail a base push.
And now this is where CIS need a fat OD as well. Lin gets his Lincoln Sphere online, so the chances of getting off the full stun lock, they get a bit slimmer, and he doesn't feel any pressure. He's pushing past where the tier 2 one stood into the enemy jungle as Inflame dives behind the tower, does find DDC. Prophet Ultimate has not been thrown out yet, got interrupted by the lift there, and suddenly they're going to catch out the Rubik, but at the cost potentially of Inflame's life. Tanks a full duration full damage Sunstrike, I should say. That still goes down in the end. So the Prophet will fall, the Rubik will die as well, and looks like Io will retreat out. And they're not getting towers. Like you said, it's sometimes tough against Tree. I believe all towers basically at full HP right now.
Yeah, I don't know why they're playing so aggressively there. Nature's Prophet's life is too important to trade away because they rely on him to delay the game by split pushing. So if he doesn't have any Necros, June gets a little bit of harass out on top, but looks like he's okay. If Nature's Prophet doesn't get farmed, then there's going to be no pressure. LGD will just keep pushing lanes out. They won't lose their T1s. They can do Roshan. They can push without any real threat. So Nature's Prophet, I think he needs to apply a pressure not by diving T1s, but just scouting with Treants, making LGD think twice about moving around and ganking, making them be inefficient, and just taking out the jungle so LGD never knows what he's really up to.
Well, it's a 6-tower advantage. That is always going to be hard to overcome. And they're leading in terms of kills. Scores 8-6, and into the pit goes LGD. Ben, they're in trouble.
They still have decent high ground defense, though. Like a Shackle to lead off a fight will probably win them a fight right there, because it'll just be followed up with the Epicenter and the Sanity's Eclipse.
Will it win them the fight? These heroes are tanky.
Yeah, it depends on who it is, I suppose.
If they can get, like, the Rubik, I'd say kill the Rubik right away. Maybe you bring the Invoker low and finish him off. It's I believe it's still a level 1 Epicenter. Yeah, only level 1, it looks like.
Yeah, he's a little under level at this point in the game, though. Level 8, 20 minutes in.
It goes back to the tri-lane. He didn't get many stacks off 6 minutes in. He had a single double stack, and CIS have a pretty greedy draft, so there's not that much room for Sand King to find his farm. He will be perched here in position. They've dropped a sentry to ensure there's no Radiant Observer Ward on the high ground as Rubik casually walks up, steals the Astral. That's a great defensive spell to have. Sand King will blink in. He starts with a Burrow, tries to slow this fight down, but now the OD's been doomed, and Xiao Tuji, well, he throws out the Doom. They do lose DDC for this. Doom gonna pop out. OD, I think, still pretty healthy, and Tower's not dead just yet, so a Rubik for nothing. And the Doom been used up as well. Demon jumps back in. Oh no! Doesn't get off the Epicenter. He will go down. Without him, that's a huge chunk of their teamfight damage down the drain. And Lifestealer will deny the tower mid, but the pressure mounts. LGD still healthy. They've lost Rubik, but they've got 4 beefcakes in the front lines, banging away on the melee racks. And with the Necro 3 here, they'll bring it down. CIS already been 1 racks. We're only 21 minutes in. And that was with the Rubik dying off the bat.
Sand King has to... It's really all on Sand King. I mean, maybe a little on Wind Ranger, but Sand King still has to follow up with the epicenter. Not casting it, and their first base defense is just devastating for them because the second one's just going to be even easier. They'll have mid lane pushing in. They can just run in through the mid lane and not really have to worry about that low to high ground. And Doom's going to have even more items. He almost has he has his Shivas right now.
I worry for CIS. I feel like their only hope is an ultra farmed OD. Lifestealer is so easily kited this game. Weaver doesn't really give two hoots about him. Invoker's going to stand back and hit him with the Forge Spirits and Necro 3, and
I feel like they needed more anti-push, like, let's say, a Keep It Light as opposed to a Wind Ranger, so they can delay the game longer, because when CIS wins, they usually win late, and Wind Ranger's just not very good at taking it, at delaying the game to ensure that your farmers will get enough farm.
I would say that, and or a better split-pushing core. Like, when they win, it's also often with, say, the Morphling for Black. He's on OD. OD doesn't threaten towers this game. And if you're not split pushing, they're 5-manning you. That is the LGD way.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. They've been doing a good job of actually not 5-manning and just 4-manning with Lin farming on top.
But they're threatening towers, yes, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
It's slightly unusual for LGD, but now this T3 on bottom's in a lot of trouble, and CIS are not really terribly close to that T1. They're going to have to retreat pretty darn soon.
To me, the story of this series, and even before the match, it just seems like it's always going to be for CIS finding that balance. They have to play greedier than LGD, but they can't play too much greedier, because LGD is very good at punishing greed. They like to run these 4 or 5-man push strats, apply pressure to towers, try and snowball early, and despite not having Shao 8, the playstyle remains largely the same.
Yes, I definitely agree with you there. Like, CIS has to be prepared for early aggression, early grouping up from LGD, and their draft is just not coped to deal with it.
They've blown their Infest, and June just going to pop back out, but what's he actually going to do here? He walks in on Doom, promptly gets Doom, then Shiva's overgrowth, and Doom just ignores him. He says, "You're toast, Bubba." Gets denied. Nice play by Io, but still, they're on the run here. The lifesteal's been lifted up, and then the Sand King gets blasted away. Well, prepare for liftoff, CIS. You're going to game 2, it looks like. Second lane of Rax, almost sure to fall. Shao Tuji standing strong here in the front lines, and June will go in. They'll try and get some retaliatory kills, but Tree's tanky. He does get disabled for the time being, but DD might go down. A nice shackle shot came through, but still Lin standing strong. He actually takes a ton of damage. Hasn't fallen just yet, though. A time lapse out of it. The Doom continues to smack away. Pops the Shivas, diving the well at 24 minutes, and LGD are just beating down CIS. And indeed, it'll end with a rather meek epicenter. 15-8 your final score. It was pretty much all LGD all the way.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of more stuff to analyze besides CIS had 2 late game centric draft and not enough anti-push.
And their lanes were also pretty weak. OD versus Invoker is good. Prophet versus Doom is okay, but the tri-lane was just a mess. They actually did better in the tri-lane than I thought they would.
Yeah, they did better in lanes than I thought they would, and they still just got decimated in 20 minutes. So, lesson of CIS, draft more early game. You will win late game if it gets late most of the time, but you don't have to draft this absolutely ridiculously greedy draft.
The 5-core strat, man. It's
you can't do everybody, right?
I think just a little bit less greedy and picking heroes that suit their playstyle more. A little more split push, a little more counter push. That is, counter push is really important against LGD. This is a team that's running Pugna. When they pick Doom, they basically run him as a pusher. They go for a lot of early auras, sometimes the mech, and they're gonna take towers.
Do you think Black should be mid or carry? I personally think he should be carry.
I think he can go mid and be a carry, but it needs to be like Morphling 1v1 would be okay. But
Naga,
if it means he's on like an OD here, I don't think it suits them. What do you think?
Naga?
I think Naga would be okay if it's the right game for Naga.
I agree with you there. I think he's slightly better suited to safe lane farming just because he doesn't really fight that much. When he gets fighters, he fights, but when
it's not really his strength. He didn't play. Black didn't even play bad this game. He was just such a non-factor. I felt like the OD was just. It needed like 15 more minutes to come online and wasn't going to get it.
Yeah, he got set too far behind in the beginning, and you can't afford to give 2 early smoke death ganks.
Any heroes from CIS that you wanted to see in this game and didn't? Besides Keeper of the Light?
Coddle, I'm trying to think of something better for mid against an Invoker. They just needed more like AoE, more team fight.
You mentioned Razor?
I think
Razor would have been better than an OD this game.
No, Razor would have been good for LGD. For maybe like a Magnus, like Magnus AM, I think would be pretty good. That's what LGD used to run in the past, and it's really good against 5-man push.
For LGD, you're saying?
For
CIS.
For CIS.
Okay.
Instead of like a lifestealer. I didn't like the lifestealer pick at all.
They picked it so early, too. And that entire draft, Exhort Invoker's really good against lifestealer, even though you can't kill him yourself. You just focus
Tree
him.
is ridiculously good for us of them.
The tree destroyed him. The OD lifestealer combination just like they're both damage dealers. They have no lockdown really to speak of, no burst damage, and just too easily dealt with in the mid game.
Yeah, I think maybe like a Death Prophet too. Like AoE silence would have been like incredible there.
I would have liked to see a Weaver ban as well. I don't think Weaver. Well, if you pick lifesteal in the first phase, you should not leave Weaver there in the second.
There's
stage.
so many things that they can't leave in though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I
think Weaver's one of the worst though. That hero just crushes lifesteal.
But still, I don't think they expected the aggro try to, and then Wind Ranger and Sand King both couldn't play greedy as a result, and then they lost the early game. And I think they would have done a lot better had LGD safe lane tried, because I think that
it kind of looked like a safe lane. It was a Rubik tree. Rubik is generally not your go-to aggressive.
But their lane was
support.
just so weak though. Like, Sand King's not actually a good tri lane hero. He's a very good support, but in terms of like try on try, he's very poor.
Teams that run those drafts well often will have like someone who can just break down the lanes early. So if Sand King, maybe you have like Enchantress with them, and you just go smoke gank mid. That could have worked, but they had a Wind Ranger Sand King. That combo is just so passive in the lane.
I mean, the Wind Ranger actually played decently well too.
Yeah,
he was like at the right place at the right time.
But just so late to have an impact. Well, guys, with that being said, it's game one in the books. Not a whole lot more to say about this one. LGD looking dominant so far. CIS still struggling to find the correct formula. But game two is coming up next. You're watching the International 4 Chinese Qualifiers presented by Monster. We'll be right back.